up, beautiful world? Long time no see, but we're back in action. I'm Alisha Lewis, and I'll be filling in for Jonathan this week, and we hope you've been creative while we were gone because we want to see. Share your value with the world because that is how we create culture, and culture, of course, is the foundation of living. I know you're excited to meet our guest on today's show, so let's get to it. Our first guest today is a young man on a mission for music, Randall King, also known as Mowgli, who has been involved in different arts since a young age. He stopped by the studio to talk about some of his work.
My name's Randall King. Some people call me Mowgli too.
Almost like a page out of a book, Randall King is a perfect example of an artist. While his artistic focus is music, he has dabbled in a few different methods of creating.
I make beats, I make graphics, like mixtape covers, all that. Sometimes I make a flyer or two.
When we asked Mowgli what he classifies his music as, his answer is pretty simple.
I just consider myself an artist, whether it be music or actual art. Because when I was little, I always drew and painted and stuff a lot. And I was in the band and orchestra in school.
Mowgli has been artistic nearly his entire life, so we were curious to know when he became an instrumentalist.
As far as beats and all that, I started that in about 2012. A friend of mine had given me a copy of FL Studio. Before that, I had never, but I played guitar and actual instruments all before that.
Given the sound that Mowgli creates, we had to ask who influenced his style of music.
As far as the beats go, the main ones who influenced me are there's a guy named Metro Boomin, and pretty much all of the 808 Mafia group. And then there's a guy from California named Salva too. He does a lot of EDM and trap music.
You may not think it, but at one point, Mowgli, even being as artistic as he is, once had what many would call a major hurdle to get over.
I was never real self-confident. When I first started, I was actually really nervous about everything, about what other people thought more than anything else. But that messed with my head a lot. When I cleared that out, everything flowed a lot smoother though.
With the recent project out, we asked Mowgli where we could hear his music at and what could we find it under.
We just go short for GBA, but it stands for the Guilty by Association. And we have Facebook pages for all the artists. You can find them there. Or our SoundCloud is we're on SoundCloud, Twitter, Instagram. My page is Sick Minds GBA.
As we wrapped up our interview, we thought about the things Mowgli had told us he'd been through. We couldn't help but ask the question, what would he tell others to inspire them in their passion for art? A short and sweet answer, his words held plenty weight.
Just watch who you hang around and don't ever give up no matter what happens. Because I've been through a lot of really messed up situations in my life, and I thought about giving up each one of those times. If I had, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now, so it was all worth it, I guess. Everything has a purpose at the end of the day.
To hear music by Randall King, aka Mowgli, and others from Guilty by Association, check out the links below in the description box and you can follow them there. Our next guests on today's show are known by the group Rose Gang. A young duo, Rabbi Jose and C-Rilla, explain to us the difference between the music they create versus others, and they give us some insight into what sets them apart from what we usually hear in music.
I was born in Lawton, and then I ended up leaving when I was 13, and I just came back 2 years ago. And that's when I officially started doing my music. First, I started out on a conscious level, you know what I'm saying? And then after that, I decided that's why I got real heavy into the Bible and stuff. And that's when I started doing spiritual.
I started rapping whenever I was 13. So at a point in time, whenever I was going to school, I didn't have nothing really better to do. I just wanted to do something else, just write. And then it came to a point where I put my music on a beat, something I can really do.
With both having interest in music at early ages and still being pretty young, we initially thought to expect that the music Rose Gang would create would fall into what we usually hear from artists in their age demographic. To our surprise, the duo explained to us otherwise.
I make more soulful music, pretty much old school type flows.
We're trying to bring out basically what people go through consciously and how it reverts basically to how it affects you spiritually.
Piqued interest led us to ask how the duo came about. C-Rilla tells us about his first encounter between he and Rabbi Jose, and Rabbi Jose tells us how his journey into his art found its way to the people.
We can see apartments. That's when we first met him. And, you know what I'm saying? He told me that he was listening to my music, listening to No Stress, the song I did with Future. Shout out to Future, you know what I'm saying? He said that he heard my music and he said it was my first time meeting him. I was like, oh, okay. Shit, what's your name? He was like, I was like, oh, you the dude that did the blog videos.
That's how I started out down here. I wouldn't even did it if it wasn't for my ex, but we were sitting down and, you know, she was, you know, I was rapping for her. She was like, well, why don't you just blog your video? And I was like, what are you talking about? Record it and put it on Facebook. And so I literally put a blog video every Wednesday. I did every week. And then it got to the point where people like, I started getting like 60 likes and then 600 views. And it was just crazy.
Every artist has hurdles, so we asked the duo what they've encountered during their journey to this point. For the type of music they make, the guys realized where their work would come in mostly with self-development.
Wordplay, the things that I was rapping about, that was a struggle too. But I
all I had to do really was, you know, just stop trying to rush the words out my mouth instead of, you know what I'm saying, thinking about it first. So then that's when I started, you know what I'm saying, being a better rapper than I used to be. Because I used to just, you know what I'm saying, just freestyle and stuff like that.
We don't just like rap about, you know, if it comes to like selling drugs or messing with different females, we talk about how what we go through and how it damaged us, you know what I'm saying?
Both Rabbi Jose and C-Rilla had some words to give for those who might find themselves in question of inspiration. In conclusion, the guys had this to say.
The things that, you know, humans go through now, they like for it to destroy them. I know that feeling hurt and feeling angry is just a ploy, you know what I'm saying, for you to fall into like foolishness, you know what I'm saying? So my thing is that they need to understand that they're not alone all the time. They're never alone, period. Like, you just need to attend to your soul, and if you attend to your soul, then you're gonna be okay. Because it's how you carry yourself spiritually at the end of the day, because none of this matters, you know what I'm saying? Once everybody understands the righteous side of the other side of the fence, then everything will be okay. So my message would be just, it's time to start understanding who you are soulfully and do what God wants you to do.
God is the reason why we're here, pretty much. You know, we gotta come together as, you know what I'm saying, as individuals, because, you know what I'm saying, it's a hard not like.
Check out music from Rose Gang online and find the links in the description box below. Looks like it's time for some sponsors, and stay tuned for bite marks and our special report just after this.
Do you have time to dedicate to social media marketing? Let us take it off your shoulders. The Lawton Pulse is Oklahoma's fastest growing social media marketing team. For just $50 a month, get your business 90 posts per month. For just $100 per month, get your business a full-time social media director, plus 90 monthly posts to the Lawton Pulse Facebook page. Get a free promotional ad whenever you sign up for one of our plans. For more info, contact Rick Roberts at 915-777-2253. The Lawton Pulse, for all the best spots and great deals all over Oklahoma.
It was Kris. He had an amazing time. He was very fantastic, very amusing. Highly recommended for families. Awesome, wasn't it? I would totally hire him for my next film.
Did you guys like that one?
We just wanted to give Kris Fowler's magic show a big thumbs up.
Magic by Kris! Yay!
Kris was awesome, and we are glad that we hired him.
It made me feel like a kid again. That was a good one. Rip that newspaper.
Ladies and watch, we'll shoot the paper.
I really want him to come to my son's birthday party.
Kris, Magic by Kris.
I love Magic by Kris.
Welcome back, my fellow lovers of the arts. You're watching hUnGr, the #1 show to promote underground artists of all types. And you're in for a pleasant surprise because you just got back in time for hUnGr Bite Marks. If you don't know, Bite Marks is our segment where we provide you with one historical fact about an artist who has left their mark on history, a little nibble of some goody good for your mind to snack on. Today's Bite Mark was left by the great Ludwig van Beethoven. One of the greatest composers, Beethoven began his life in music at a very early age. And while we aren't sure when he started putting his music to paper, we know that the earliest composition found of his was dated in 1782. At the age of only 12, Beethoven composed a set of 9 variations for piano, which were written in C minor, not something typical of the time frame, as well as intensely difficult to play. That just goes to show that it takes being different to really stand out. No matter the age you may be, this has been another hUnGr Bite Mark. Now for a little something special, it's your hUnGr Special Report. Today's special report leads us to an amazing artist who has seen firsthand how art can change life. Artist Kris Dryden has been creating masterpieces on many different canvases for a while now and has found a passion in tattooing and airbrushing. We went to the shop he works at to learn more about him.
I've been drawing since I was a wee lad, but as far as like the turning point, I got in trouble for graffiti. I had to do quite a bit of community service for that. But that turned into probably the best thing that ever happened because my parents were pretty pissed about that. They ended up getting me an airbrush.
He may have started out rough, but his work is most definitely smooth like glass. Being able to sit at his station with him, we got to see the detail Kris put into each work of art he creates. With so many pieces, we wanted to know what his concentration is.
Female portraits. The female portraits are the absolute hardest thing to do. Portraits in general are hard anyway, but I mean female portraits are even worse. Because like if you just take, for instance, like this picture of Lucille Ball, every line you add to a woman's face adds 10 years to the look of their look. So if you add an extra line under her eye, there she just aged 20 years.
Definitely experienced, Kris tells us about some of his approach to his work. He explained how important it is to create engaging pieces, those eye-catching works that capture your full attention.
If you're trying to interact with a piece, I'd rather you interact with it and wonder, I wonder what caught their attention. You want the viewer to finish the story. Because if you do that, you now made that person interact. And that's art.
Being multifaceted, Kris fills us in on his first love.
The airbrush thing, when that first started out, that's probably going on about 14 years. And that's like when you find a first love, that's your first love. And I've always been like really fascinated with like the lowriders and the whole culture, that whole culture and the way that they put everything into a paint job or into whatever they depict.
Airbrushing is intensely difficult. Anyone can pick one up, but not everyone can use one well. We asked Kris where he learned how to use the tool to become so skilled with it, and if he's had issues to overcome while learning.
All of it was self-taught. I've never had any kind of training, schooling, advanced learning, I don't know. As far as all that goes, many hurdles. Because with paint is very finicky. So you run the risk of what we call snake skinning, and that's where paint lifts off of your material that you're working on. And that's a big problem. I used to have that problem all the time until I started doing more research into understanding what makes paint stick to that object.
Being that we were in a tattoo shop, of course the excitement to ask about his tattoo work was inevitable. Kris tells us what sets him apart in his tattoo work from others, and also what changes the tattoo scene in our area is seeing today.
I don't try to tattoo like I'm from Oklahoma. Tattooing's so new here that you can show them anything and they're like, cool, that's a great tattoo. I like the way the Cholos tattoo Southern California. That's what I like. Their black and grays to me are everything. So that's, and if you bring like a West Coast flair to the mid-America here, it's people don't see that, so it is unique to them. We're slowly getting like little art shows here and there, and we have a really good response to those. Like we'll do like canned food drives, while that show is coming. So if you like bring canned foods, we like enter you in for a drawing to win prints or something. So we not only are trying to make people understand there is a culture here, you can create a culture here, but we can give back at doing that.
Kris has obviously been growing and come a long way since his start as a professional artist. Given the journey he's been on, we were unquestionably curious to know what words he would give to people who might see his work or who may be wanting to follow a similar path. Just like his art, his message stands out strongly.
There's a misconception that you have to have a college degree to be a success. I feed my wife and 2 kids. I pay all my payments by doing artwork daily. Like, that's amazing to me. You know what I mean? I get to live, I'm not going to say it's a stress-free life because it's super stressful, you know, but I get to do what I absolutely love for a living because I pursued what I thought was correct, not what I was being told I needed to do. I don't think there's really a lot of rights or wrongs, whichever way they go about it, as long as they do it to their best every single day. You can't do it every other week. You can't do it every 2 months. You can't. It's something. It's just like if you're the best basketball player, you don't go shoot in the gym every other day. You go every day. Same thing with drawing. You do it every single day, regardless.
You can check out Kris Dryden's work and stop by for your next skin art piece at Shine On Tattoo in Lawton. You can find links to contact him online in the description box below. Once again, we've reached the sad end of our show for this week. Be sure to like our page on Facebook and join our group to get in on the conversation and even post your own art for others to see. Find us on Instagram and Twitter as well. We'll follow you back. Thanks again for watching. We post every other Saturday and our next show is eager to be watched, so don't miss it. Now, if you don't mind, I have some art to go create and so do you. So go on, get it. We'll see you next time.